Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, today I want to remind you of a truth that is certain yet often overlooked. On the day of judgment, everyone will be on their own. In this world, we are surrounded by friends, family, colleagues, and loved ones. We find comfort in their company, support in times of hardship, and guidance in moments of confusion. But the reality of the hereafter is very different. On that day, every soul will face its own deeds. No wealth, no status, no connections, and no influence will benefit you unless it is supported by your actions and your faith. On the day of judgment, every individual will stand alone before Allah, accountable for their own deeds. This is a reality that is both certain and inescapable. In this life, we often rely on others, our family, friends, or influential people around us to support us, guide us, or even cover our shortcomings. Yet in the hereafter, such worldly support will be of no avail. Each soul will be judged solely on its own actions, intentions, and choices. No amount of wealth or power can shield a person from the consequences of their deeds. The Quran reminds us clearly that on that day, every soul will be compensated in full for what it earned. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:281. There is no injustice, no favoritism, and no escape. This truth serves as a powerful reminder that our actions today have eternal consequences. The comfort of relying on others must not lead us into negligence or carelessness. Our prayers, our charity, our honesty, and our obedience to Allah are personal responsibilities. Each prayer missed, each act of kindness neglected, and each moment of wrongdoing will be presented before us, and we will have no one to intervene or excuse us. It is a sobering reality, yet it is also empowering. It reminds us that we alone have control over our spiritual journey and the choices that shape our destiny. Knowing that we will stand alone should encourage us to cultivate sincerity in all that we do. Our intentions must align with our actions, and our deeds must reflect our faith. Acts of worship performed without sincerity or good deeds done for show will not carry the weight we hope for. Likewise, sins committed in secret or with disregard for Allah's commands will not be hidden. Everything is recorded and will be revealed in perfect justice. Therefore, let us take responsibility for ourselves. Let us prepare for that day by living with mindfulness, devotion, and integrity. When we understand that on the day of judgment, no one else will bear our burden or share our accountability, we realize the importance of every decision we make today. May Allah guide us to be among those whose deeds are righteous and intentions pure, so that when we stand alone before Him, we are not overwhelmed but granted mercy, forgiveness, and eternal peace. In this world, we are surrounded by people, family, friends, neighbors, and colleagues. We rely on them for support, comfort, and companionship. We celebrate our joys with them and seek their help in times of difficulty. These relationships bring meaning and happiness to our lives, and they are indeed a blessing from Allah. However, while these connections are invaluable in this world, they will hold no power on the day of judgment. On that day, every individual will stand alone, facing the results of their deeds. No one can carry your burden, and no one can intercede for you unless Allah wills it. This is a reality that must humble us and make us reflect on our lives. The people we rely on in this world, parents, siblings, spouses, or friends, cannot guarantee our safety or success in the hereafter. The comfort of wealth, status, or influence, which we often consider a shield in this life, will also mean nothing when we are confronted by our own actions. Every good deed must be earned personally, and every wrong must be accounted for individually. The Quran reminds us, and no bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another. Surah Al-Am 6:164. This is a clear message that accountability is personal. Understanding this should not make us despair, but rather encourage us to live with mindfulness and sincerity. It teaches us that while relationships are valuable, our connection with Allah is the one that truly matters. Acts of worship, kindness, and obedience to Allah must be done with full sincerity, not for the approval of others. Likewise, our character, honesty, and integrity must reflect our personal responsibility to Allah, because ultimately, only our own deeds will follow us. This knowledge also reminds us to be careful in our choices and actions. We cannot rely on the influence, status, or wealth of others to save us from accountability. Every prayer we perform, every charity we give, and every moment of patience or good conduct is an investment for ourselves alone. It is a personal record, one that no one else can alter or improve. Therefore, we must cherish our relationships in this world, but never forget the ultimate truth. On the day of judgment, every individual will stand alone, responsible for their own deeds. May Allah help us strengthen our relationship with Him, guide our actions, and make us among those who are successful in both this world and the hereafter. Every action we perform in this life carries weight, but it is not just the action itself that matters. It is the intention behind it. Allah, the most just and most merciful, evaluates both the deeds we do and the intentions in our hearts. On the day of judgment, our intentions and actions will be laid bare. Every act of worship, every word spoken, and every choice made will be presented in full, without concealment. It is not enough to perform good deeds outwardly. They must be sincere, done solely for the sake of Allah, and guided by righteous intent. The Prophet Muhammad said, actions are judged by intentions, and everyone will be rewarded according to what they intended. This means that even a small act, when done sincerely, can carry immense reward, while the largest act performed for show or pride may hold no value at all. This principle should encourage us to constantly check our hearts. Why are we performing our deeds? Is it to gain recognition, praise, or personal benefit? Or is it truly for Allah's pleasure? Are our prayers heartfelt, or are they routine? Is our charity given generously, or grudgingly to show others our generosity? On the day of judgment, these questions will be answered for us in the presence of Allah. Every hidden intention, every secret thought, and every deed will be revealed with perfect clarity. No one will be able to hide their motives, and nothing will escape Allah's all-encompassing knowledge. Furthermore, this understanding teaches us the importance of consistency. Small, sincere acts done regularly are often more valuable than grand gestures done occasionally for appearance. A smile given sincerely, a kind word spoken genuinely, or a small act of charity given quietly can outweigh a showy act done for worldly recognition. Every moment offers us the chance to purify our intentions and align our actions with the pleasure of Allah. Thus, we must live mindfully, ensuring that both our actions and our hearts reflect our devotion. On the day of judgment, it will not be enough to have done many deeds. What matters is the purity and sincerity behind them. By focusing on our intentions and acting with integrity, we prepare ourselves to face that day with confidence and hope, knowing that Allah rewards those who strive sincerely in His way. The reality that every person will stand alone on the day of judgment should not only bring fear, but also inspire reflection, awareness, and motivation. Fear, when understood properly, is a tool that guides us to live righteously, but it should never lead to despair. Allah, in His infinite mercy, gives us reminders so that we may prepare ourselves and strive for success in the hereafter. This truth that we will be accountable for our own deeds encourages us to take responsibility for our lives, our choices, and our actions. Fear alone is not enough. It must be balanced with hope and practical effort. We are reminded that we have the ability to make choices that will impact our eternal destiny. Every prayer, every act of kindness, every moment of patience, and every effort to seek forgiveness is an investment in our own salvation. Knowing that we will stand alone should push us to seek Allah's pleasure sincerely and consistently. It should make us more mindful of how we speak, how we behave, and how we interact with others. This truth also encourages reflection on the temporary nature of this world. We live surrounded by comfort, distractions, and companionship. But these are fleeting. They cannot accompany us beyond the grave. What will matter most is our faith, our deeds, and the sincerity of our intentions. Reflection upon this reality helps us prioritize what is truly important. It motivates us to let go of arrogance, greed, and attachment to material possessions, and instead focus on building a strong spiritual foundation. Motivation comes from understanding that change is always possible. Even if we have erred in the past, Allah's mercy is vast and He accepts sincere repentance. By recognizing that accountability is personal, we are inspired to correct our mistakes, improve ourselves, and strengthen our relationship with Allah. This awareness transforms fear into action. It is not paralyzing but empowering. Therefore, let this truth guide our daily lives. Let it remind us to live with purpose, sincerity, and mindfulness. When we reflect on the fact that on the day of judgment, every individual will stand alone, we are reminded that our actions today define our tomorrow. May Allah give us the wisdom to live consciously, the courage to act righteously, and the strength to face that day with faith, hope, and trust in His mercy. Preparation is essential for success on the day of judgment because it is the only way to face that day with confidence and peace. In this world, we often delay thinking about the hereafter, caught up in the daily struggles, comforts, and distractions of life. Yet the truth remains, every soul will stand alone and be judged solely on its deeds. The actions we take today, however small they may seem, will shape our experience in the hereafter. Therefore, preparing for that day is not just a suggestion, it is a responsibility, and it begins with awareness, sincerity, and consistent effort. Performing good deeds is the cornerstone of preparation. Prayer, the 5 daily Salah, is our direct connection with Allah and a fundamental way to purify our hearts and strengthen our faith. Charity, whether large or small, cleanses our wealth and benefits those in need while earning immense reward. Acts of kindness, patience, honesty, and humility in our interactions with others reflect our devotion and shape our character. Every righteous act, no matter how minor it may seem, contributes to our record of deeds and becomes a source of light on the day of judgment. Sincere repentance is equally important. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, fall into sins, and sometimes neglect our duties. The beautiful mercy of Allah allows us to turn back at any moment, seek forgiveness, and correct our path. True repentance requires acknowledging our mistakes, feeling remorse, and resolving not to return to the same error. By doing so, we prepare ourselves spiritually and emotionally for the accountability that awaits us. Avoiding sins and staying mindful of our actions is another crucial aspect of preparation. Every harmful action, whether spoken, thought, or done secretly, will be presented before us. Living with mindfulness, constantly reflecting on whether our choices align with the guidance of Allah, ensures that we do not accumulate burdens on our own souls. Ultimately, preparation is about balance, combining hope and fear, action and reflection. It is about living a life of purpose, responsibility, and devotion. By performing good deeds, repenting sincerely, and avoiding wrongdoing, we build a shield for the day of judgment, ensuring that when we stand alone, our hearts are at peace and our record is full of light. May Allah grant us the wisdom to prepare diligently, the strength to act sincerely, and the guidance to remain steadfast, so that we may meet Him with confidence, mercy, and eternal success. Faith and sincerity are our strongest companions on the day of judgment, the day when every individual will stand alone and be fully accountable for their deeds. While this reality may seem overwhelming, it also carries a profound message of hope and reassurance. If our actions are rooted in genuine faith and our intentions are sincere, we will never truly be alone, even when all worldly support is gone. Allah's mercy is vast and His guidance and protection are available to those who seek Him with a pure heart. Faith is not merely belief in the unseen. It is a living, active force that shapes our actions, decisions, and behavior. A person of faith lives with awareness of Allah, striving to do good, avoid evil, and maintain honesty, patience, and humility. This awareness transforms ordinary actions into acts of worship. Even daily routines, when performed with the right intention, carry immense value. Feeding the hungry, speaking kindly, forgiving others, and fulfilling our responsibilities, these deeds become a source of light and support on the day of judgment. Faith gives meaning to our actions, and sincerity ensures that they are accepted by Allah. Sincerity means acting purely for the pleasure of Allah, without seeking recognition, praise, or worldly gain. On that day, all pretense will be stripped away. Only what was done with a clean heart will benefit us. This motivates us to purify our intentions constantly, to check our hearts, and to align our actions with the guidance of the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. Every act of worship, every kind word, and every small effort done sincerely adds to our personal record of good deeds, preparing us for the ultimate accountability. Faith and sincerity also bring inner peace in the face of life's challenges. When we live consciously, aware that Allah sees and knows all, we develop resilience and patience. We remain steadfast during trials, confident that our sincere efforts are being recorded, and we find comfort in knowing that we are never truly alone, for Allah is always with us. Therefore, let us focus on nurturing our faith and ensuring our actions are sincere. Let us live each day with mindfulness, purpose, and devotion. When the day of judgment arrives, though every individual will stand alone, those who have cultivated faith and sincerity will find themselves supported by the mercy and guidance of Allah, facing the ultimate accountability with hope, peace, and eternal success.